On the ground, at the practical application, wrong word, not application, but at the practical implementation level, we find that some of the solutions to these challenges, or some of the ways to mitigate these challenges, are found in these areas, in the tools, in the roles, in the events, in the artifacts, and in the techniques. And I'm going to try to paint a picture of what some of those challenges are, and perhaps introduce some mitigations in how teams are approaching these. The field is wide, and there's quite a lot to cover. So I extracted a few of the techniques that perhaps can help us talk through um, what can be helpful in the field. And the first thing we need to recognize is that not all agile distributed teams are built the same, right? There's the idea that we can have three major forms of distribution. The first is that we have distributed teams. That is two or more co-located teams in different places. Those might be within the same time zone. Those might be across countries in different time zones. The second composition, in no particular order, is distributed members. This is what we're all facing today with the pandemic that we're facing, where we went from 0 to 60 to become fully distributed team members. This is the idea that there's no central hub and that we're all connected remotely. It would have taken years for us to get to where we are in present time as far as distribution and remote access, but COVID-19 has accelerated that, and hence we have a need to be more efficient and effective right away in distributed environments. And the last one is this hybrid distribution. Hybrid is the combination of the two, where you might have a co-located team, and then there's some members that are dialed in or that are remote, right? I will add that the hybrid distribution before COVID-19 was one of the most challenging of the three. And that's because it had individuals that were not on the same footing. It had individuals that were remote and they were sort of considered sub-citizens of the team, if you will, by the fact that the team created a tribal environment in the local co-located pod, and then those team members that would dial in or that would remote would somewhat be considered part-time or not always a priority. Today, most of us are on equal footing. Most of us are all distributed. I'm going to take a quick poll here, and I'm going to ask you to tell us what your composition is. Wait for that delimiter, composition. I just need to spell that right. And tell us if you are distributed teams, distributed team members, or a hybrid distribution. And that would be in present day, how you are doing it today. I would expect that, well, let me not anchor and wait for some of those answers to come in. We've seen some hybrid, we've seen distributed team members. We're seeing hybrid, more hybrid than I would have expected to see. That's great. That means that many of you have gone back to the office and some of you are still remote, or you're planning to keep it that way. Distributed team members, hybrid models. Great, a lot of hybrids. I will add that a recent survey we ran in Agile Genesis showed that most team members would prefer to have a permanent hybrid environment, meaning they want to be able to telecommute some of the days of the week and go into the office other days. So I personally expect that the hybrid environment will become the norm, not the exception, right?